You're tuned in to the New Old Heads podcast, premiered every Thursday at noon at bringingdowntheband.com and brought to you by No Bad Ideas, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, and Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the New Old Heads by visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/newoldheads.
Episode 106 of the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7. I make beats. The hard drive has been fixed. I'm ready for that smoke. Longevity, rocking the full, well, not full chalice, but the chalice is in the building. How are you, sir?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I can't complain. Well,
that's good. Good. I mean, even if you complain, who really cares?
That is a very, very good point. That's wisdom right there. Nobody's going to listen, so yeah. I can dig that. I'm with that.
Lots of water spots on the chalice today.
Well, you know, press for time, man. We got to do what we got to do.
Yeah, you know.
DJ J Diff, how are you, sir?
Salutations. I'm well.
How's your starter kit? You good?
Yeah, man. I'm getting it prepared right now, removing the advertisement. So,
okay. So if they don't cut us a check, we can't rock with them, correct?
Indeed. Okay. So I got my kit full throttle.
I know you bought your paper, so we appreciate that. That's what's up. They have to cut us a check.
Word.
Sitting at the head of the table, the voice of Indianapolis, Mr. Wavy Light Skin Girls Be Loving Me Now. Mr. I have come a long way from my conditioning. Jay Moore is in the building. How are you, sir?
I'm definitely in the building. I'm definitely in the building. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I see your strides out here in the community, bro. We ain't gonna talk about it too long, but I see you. Just know that I see.
Well, I'm glad you can recognize.
I think one of these days he's gonna swing on you about this condition.
Nah, man, we not gonna even take.
I probably would have swung on you in like episode at least 50.
Putting him on blast about that.
Well, I mean, I ain't gonna say
or allegedly.
Blast
well, once again, it's allegedly, and if you really think about it, once again, it's about you.
I feel you.
It's not,
Fair
it's
enough,
not about
man.
me.
We're not about violence, so I'm not going to even go that route. To my immediate left, the incomparable DJ Spools.
Hello, Michael.
How are you, sir?
Doing well. How are you?
Spools, I'm doing good. I got to give you credit. I give credit when credit is due.
You doing good?
I'm doing good. That hat is fresh, bro.
Thanks.
I got to give credit when it's due.
Is that a Devin Hester or a Kyle Fuller jersey?
This is a Devin Hester jersey.
Nice.
The cool thing about the hat Spools has on is the new arrows on the flap and the stripes on the flap. Like that.
It's a really warm hat, too.
To a different level. Plus, it's a very
You
warm
like
hat.
the branding?
I do like the branding.
Yeah.
It's not a cheap hat, man. I ain't counting his pockets.
The Bears.
He's a legit Bears fan, so we'll let him have that as well.
5-3, baby.
5-3. So
Top of the division.
Who cares?
Consistent. Very consistent.
Good
very
one, Terry.
consistent. 106, as always. Well, like we always say, we don't have anything remotely close for 106.
106.7.
There we go.
Serve the
TLC.
Indianapolis.
106
The new
Park.
TLC.
Yeah.
Well, I knew you.
Last week should have been the old TLC 105.
Oh, yeah.
105.7.
I remember that.
Yeah, then 106.
TLC used to play us in Anderson, man. We could barely get a signal. We could hear it.
Really?
We
Whose
couldn't hear
fault
it
is
good.
that, sir?
Dang.
How does that play you?
Because
That just
man,
means you a little too far out from
signal
the
should have been
antenna.
stronger. Nah, signal should have been stronger.
That's that liberal
okay.
thinking right there.
Is that what that is?
Should have been stronger.
Okay,
Just like we can't hear the Breakfast Club.
we can watch them. I couldn't
But
watch TLC.
I can't hear it though, man. It should have. The antenna should have been stronger.
Oh, I don't like where this is going, so we're gonna go ahead.
Yeah,
and,
we might want to just move on.
All right.
Yeah, we gonna go ahead and transition.
Go ahead,
That's a good point, though.
Go ahead and pick yourself up by the bootstraps and move closer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
I'm gonna go ahead and
right.
take an L on that one. That's a
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. All right, so
Bada boom,
Walk
bada bing.
on by.
this dude, man, get your boy Jay Moore. Oh, now you ain't claiming him?
All right, let's just to the first subject.
Man, whatever, man. So Maywood, California. Apparently, there's some foolishness that was going on. We watched
What
the
you do
video.
out in California?
I didn't
Mike?
do anything. I stay out the way. I stay out of grown folks' business. That's the motto.
Literally grown folks' business.
Yeah, I stay out the way. Clearly, somebody doesn't know how to stay out of grown folks' business. So Maywood, California. California high school teacher was arrested after a video surfaced of him allegedly punching one of his students who used a racial epithet. Did I say that right?
Yeah. Close enough.
Close
Oh,
enough.
my mama was a racial epithet.
I mean, we watched the video. CBS Los Angeles reported. The gentleman's name is Martson Riley. He's 64. He was released Saturday from the Los Angeles County Jail after posting $50,000 bail. And that's according to the sheriff's records. Cell phone video showed him fighting one of his students. We watched the video. It looks like it was in a band class. You could see like a saxophone and stuff from front.
Clavinet.
I see you.
Y'all was
So
in
somebody
band.
was in the
Yep.
back. Perfect timing with the cell phone. Got the entire video. I think I had maybe 3 minutes, 3-4 minutes max.
2, I think.
2. Okay, so we saw the whole thing. So I'm gonna throw this out here and see what you guys think. The kids now. My mother was a teacher for years, and she says the kids now are 10 times as crazy as they were when we were coming up. So the disrespect level, all that stuff is just. It's on 10 now. They running around acting crazy. Everybody's a star. We talk about instant gratification. People having IGs, Facebook. They got followers. So they think they can pretty much do anything. So we saw this kid get out of pocket.
Kids
with a
can do anything that they put their minds to.
I knew he was going to take. Come on, man. I'm trying to be positive. But anyway.
Are you? Are you?
But
Teach them well and let them lead the way.
Lead the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great record.
That's right.
But whose side are you guys on in this video, man? Like, the kid really was out of pocket in grown folks' business. The teacher may have
What
to show
Ol
some
Otis do?
restraint.
Did Ol Otis swing
Man, look
on
here. Man, look
That
here.
was a man.
But and then there's a side that you can say
Boy.
the grown
Watch
man.
out there now, boy.
Watch out
Hey,
there now,
now,
boy.
boy.
The grown man should have some restraint, and which he actually tried to do, from what I saw. Long, what you think, man? Where you at on this foolishness?
So I was in band class, and I was kind of a dick as a kid.
I
at
sat
times.
beside you.
What?
I know this.
Yeah, I
Say it
mean,
ain't so.
I mean,
No.
Master troll in band class.
I mean, I never like fought the band director, but there were times where I thought that shit would happen in band. Perhaps, maybe. I mean,
This is true.
bringing down the band comes from a feud with the band director,
Yeah.
literally.
This is true.
So because we were told we were bringing down the band.
Me and my band director didn't have the greatest relationship either.
My dad. So actually, here's the story. My dad actually physically fought the band director. Okay, I forgot about that story.
Damn.
Oh, it's in your blood. That's what's up.
I believe that's the case. He'll have to if he's listening, he'll have to
Man, I
fix
need-
me on that. But I think the story goes he fought his band director when he was a sophomore and he never went back.
Wow.
But to this story, where do I stand?
Yeah.
I'll say this: the teacher showed a lot of patience. The kid was really, really going.
On my mama. On my hood.
He was going, and then he decided to swing on him. Now, the question
Who
comes:
swung on who?
The teacher swung on the Curren.
After the Curren threw his basketball at him.
He
But
sure did throw the basketball
He
at
threw
him.
the basketball at him approximately like 30 seconds before.
Approximately. Okay.
So like it was 30 seconds of build up for him to decide, oh shit, you know what, I'm gonna swing on him.
I mean, he kept coming at him, though. I mean, he should have picked up that clue when he took his glasses off. Ol Otis took his glasses off.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did.
We definitely can refer to him as Ol Otis moving forward.
Absolutely.
I'm cool with that.
He took his glasses off. That's a sign right there.
It was like
I ain't about to keep playing with you now, that boy.
two more
can't-
times.
We can't absolve the kid from throwing the ball at Ol Otis though.
no,
Right?
No, I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying.
He did throw the ball, so he initiated that much. I don't
He
know.
also put it on his mama.
How many
10
A
times?
number of times.
But this was
Yeah.
after
50
he,
lemon,
this is
50
after he
lemon
was leaking though, right?
No,
Correct.
it was before.
Well,
he
it was
put it on
before
his
he was
mama
leaking,
before.
and while he was leaking.
So
Yeah.
that means he
Times,
was
yes.
serious. He was serious
Yeah.
when he put it on his mama that many times.
J Diff, where do you have
I'll elaborate more after you guys talk.
Yeah, do you have anything on like where you at? Cuz I need to know.
I can kind of see it both ways, but
Okay.
I'm not mad at Ol Otis for swinging on little young whippersnapper
Okay.
because he was running off at the mouth.
Uh-huh.
He
was.
told him to leave. He told him to leave. When he told him to leave, he threw his basketball at him, and then put everything on his mama again, and told him what he was gonna do. He wasn't scared, and this, that, and the other. And you don't know what was going on in Ol Otis's life. You know what I'm saying? He might not have got no booty that morning.
Ol Otis had time.
He ain't
he had
ain't
time.
get
He
no
had
breakfast. I mean, you don't know what was going on. Shit, he swung on him.
Well, you know, I'm
He
trying-
evaluated the situation. We all seen that. Didn't
We
he
could-
evaluate?
He took a lot.
Like
he
it- this-
evaluated what was going
like
on.
when he was sitting there staring off into space, you could
Yeah.
literally it was like a Rick and Morty montage.
Yeah,
Like it like went off and you could tell like he was going through all the different like things going on in his head, like, all right, if I swing on him,
That
this is what's gonna
pension.
happen.
do I want to lose this job?
Do I just want to just say, yeah, you could see that happening like if you're as you're watching it. Then he
This
takes
is
his glasses off like, Well, all right, we're 2 steps closer.
This is true.
And this should be a lesson too, real quick, that because I think we live in a day and age where kids don't respect their elders
At all.
At all.
100%.
They talk crazy about them. They'll even argue like that kid was doing.
Yeah.
They'll go back and forth with someone older than them, just like is one of their peers, and they got to realize that we've gotten out. I think who talked about that? We interviewed
Odyssey. Yeah.
Spoke about how
he spoke
Western
really well.
civilization don't respect their elders like they
That's
should.
He's 100% correct.
And it's true. I mean, it's obvious, especially with this situation, but that's just one of many times that people have. I mean, these kids are doing this, and I can see why Ol Otis snapped on it.
That's actually a good call, good reference for bringing up Odyssey. Spools, where are you at?
No, I agree. It's great reference. I liked what Odyssey had to say. I think he put it very well, like the why, like why it is the way it is, you know.
Yep.
And that it's really just a microcosm of something bigger, you know. So that was great. But no, man. I mean, ultimately, I think the guy knows he probably should have just gone and like sat down or called somebody into the room or called other adults into the room or waited, you know, and sat down. But like.
Something.
To Terry's point, like, do I blame Ol Otis for swinging on him? Absolutely not. Like, and I think he was, to your point, calculating like what the consequences were. Like, he is in his 60s. He knew exactly what the consequences were, but he did it anyway, and I don't blame him. Yeah, man, that's how I feel.
Got himself a GoFundMe.
Yeah, he did.
He did get
I
a
think what
GoFundMe.
they raised like 40 or 50 grand.
40, 50
yeah.
grand, yeah.
Well,
Enough to
Jay
get
Moore,
him
put
up out of jail.
a bow on this one before we go to the next topic.
Well, I think just in the tie to what Odyssey said and a little bit of what Jay Diff said, it does come down to respect.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he's 60 years old, in his 60s, and he comes from an era where, maybe a new teacher would have been able to just be like, okay, we're going to call security and we'll do that. Look, if a 60, a black man in his 60s, he don't play all that goddamn disrespect.
That's true.
Okay. And the thing is, I'm just going to look at it another angle, because of course people are worried about lawsuits. They're talking about, when you hit a kid. I was like, look, had that been me as a kid, when you take the assault out of it, the fact that I am speaking back to my elders,
Yeah.
no, not only would my parents not sue, but I would be on punishment for the next part of the semester, and I would have to apologize for. And the thing is, like, not only that, I
No
took
Netflix for a week.
I took. Not only
way
was
to
I
update that, Spool.
not only
Let's
was
see
I
you.
disrespectful to an adult in school, but then I lost the fight.
Oh man.
Ron Moore would not have that. Like I said, it would be. I'd
It's
have
a lot.
Yeah,
Our era
I would have to
is different,
apologize, and we not sue. My parents wouldn't sue the school. No. They'd be like, "Well, he had that ass whooping coming." So
I think the whole suing thing is something that's fairly new. Like that's a new thing.
generation thing.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything post this happening. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who-
Like what
I
is
mean,
there
California
suing?
is a sue happy state anyway.
True.
And
LA.
some people, and plus it's a new breed of parents out here that are always like, well, what did you do to my, because my mom was an educator as well. And one of the things where she said, okay, I'm glad I'm done with this now, is it used to be if the parents had to come up to the school, they'd want to sit down and be like, what has my son done? And then you
Right.
took it from there.
Yeah.
And now this new breed of parents, they're like, well, maybe you don't know how to teach. My kid don't need no medication. And what did you do to,
I think
to,
there
to make
might be
him do
validity
that?
to that, though.
There's a different
Yeah.
mindset of having to deal with these parents in 2018.
Jump
I've
in,
heard the
Spools.
same from my sister's friend teaches here in Indy, middle school teacher. She's been doing it for probably almost like going on 20 years or so.
Mhm.
Same
Vet in
thing.
the game.
That just the difference in like for her, it's been more of like when she first started teaching
Right.
is when she had the parents that were more, like when you called. The way she put it is when you called home when I first started teaching. The parents would want to know, again, would be what did the child do? What happened? Okay, I'll take care of this. I apologize. Sorry. She said when she calls now, half the time she gets cussed out by the parents.
Yeah.
It wasn't no, well, what's his side of the story?
Right.
No, an adult teacher called me as a parent, and so you're going to suffer the consequences
Yep.
of having this person call me either at my job or during dinner time.
Yep.
First of all, I wouldn't even thought to do
so
anything
that's
like
parent.
this.
So that's parenting, you know, and I guess I can see where, especially both of you can relate to that because both your parents were
Teachers.
educators.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I didn't get in trouble and I didn't have the same issues. I mean, like if I got bad grades, I got grounded and
Right.
sit in my room with my lamp and look at geology and stuff in 4th grade or whatever. But I've also had teachers and stuff where I felt like they didn't like me, and I've had that too.
That exists. Like we
And
all
so,
went through that. Yep.
I've had legitimately had teachers all the way through where I felt like they had something out for me.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, whether they didn't like my attitude or whatever that may be. So what I will say to that is it's not necessarily a child's responsibility, depending on how old they are, to manage their immaturity in that way if they haven't matured yet. That's part of an educator's job
Yeah.
in my position.
And that
That's
kinda-
the way
where
that I
that-
feel.
that
I'm
could
not
differ
mad
too.
at
Yeah, that's where it becomes sticky though, because a lot of parents who I feel like maybe are newer type age parents maybe don't feel comfortable with teachers going that far to that extent. So it's like a lose-lose for a teacher. Like
what it is,
you're damned if you do or if you
Damn
don't.
if you don't. Yep.
or
But-
like it's like I think a lot of these
Well, I think-
what are
Parents.
the parents? Yeah, are trying to be their kid's friend rather than being their parent.
I was waiting.
So
for somebody
they're
to say that.
not really parenting. So
real.
whatever's said, it's like, well, such and such said that this happened, so that's what I'm riding with.
Yeah.
And then so they're hyped up and ready to go see the teacher based on what this child said. Everybody knows kids lie. And like to your point where you're talking about the teachers didn't like you, there's a lot of kids who claim none of their teachers liked them. So
That's a
obviously
fact.
there's a common denominator there. If none of your teachers like you, because there's teachers that go beyond, above and beyond what
Yeah.
they have to in order to try to get some kids to see the light. So
That's true.
if the teacher that everybody gets along with doesn't like you,
Yeah.
there's something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying?
My mother's perspective would have.
I don't
been,
necessarily agree with that.
I do.
I don't think there was anything wrong with me in 4th grade.
No,
When-
I'm not saying you.
When my 4th grade.
I'm saying,
but what I'm saying though,
these
in
kids
that
in particular,
aspect,
because I know kids that I went to school with who blamed everything on every teacher they was with.
but
He
that's
was like,
different.
"Come on,
but that's
man."
different from like a one-off situation. I guess in this one right here, we don't know if this kid that threw the basketball at the teacher had other issues or not. It would seem like he did based upon the way he was acting, but we don't know.
You're talking about other issues outside of with that teacher, just like maybe mental issues or something like that at home, or is that
No,
what you're
I'm
saying?
talking about issues with other teachers.
With other teachers, okay.
You know,
I'll
like,
follow.
so
All right.
if we don't know if he's a quote unquote problem child, right?
Got you.
But if he's a quote unquote problem child, why is he a quote unquote problem child? To me, that's the conversation that needs to be had more so than let's continue to punish this kid over and over again for being whatever. Now, granted, he's in high school. Granted, he's
Yeah.
a little older, but I mean, we all have went to school with kids who have had one situation with a teacher, or maybe even jokingly, maybe even the teacher maybe clowned on the kid a little bit
Yep.
and thought that the kid could handle it, but then that internalized, and then the kid took that, and then it spiraled them into an entire type of
Turned
persona
into
of
a
not
beast.
liking
Yeah.
school at all or anything like that. And then they get that reputation not only with the students, but also with the faculty and the staff. And then they all treat them the same way. I didn't have that personally, but I've seen that happen with
The
people.
kid could just be a jerk.
Kid
could
could be
be.
a jerk. I mean, we all went to school with kids that were just jerks. Like I get that part. I see what you're saying. I think Terry's point resonated more with me in terms of when you were talking about the parents and the parents' reaction. My mom would have come to me not worrying about what my side was. This is what the teacher said you were doing. This is how we rolling. Like she wouldn't have cared about my side. That's the old school mentality.
But that's also your mom's a teacher.
Yeah, maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. That's a
You
part
know,
of it
it's
as well.
a little different.
She definitely would have been like, nah, you was showing out. It's a wrap. You know what I mean?
I mean, but your parents, out of everybody, knows you.
That's true.
So if a teacher is explaining something that you did, 9 times out of 10,
Right. That's true.
your parents can kind of be like, that does sound like something
Something he
my
would do
child
or
did.
she would do. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's
Because
true. That's
they're
true.
not
Not
just
bad at
raising up. These kids are testing their parents too at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We've all been there and done
True.
that at some point in time in our lives. So there's something that resonated to the parents, if they're actually trying to listen and correct the situation,
Right.
that they can be like, that does kind of sound like something you would do. Prove me wrong.
Right. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that.
My one takeaway would be, why is the kid so upset? What is going on in the kid's life to make him to feel the way that he did, to feel like it's okay to act out the way he does?
He didn't get those new J's.
Maybe, and that's possibly true. But that's like a mental disorder.
Could be.
You know what I mean? Like, in a way, I mean, the same way social media is, you know.
I follow what you're saying. I don't think
not mad at
right
that.
then and there was the time or place to maybe try those tactics.
But I don't think
But-
that matters.
What do you mean?
I don't think it matters. Like, it's not like you choose when you're going to act out. It's just part of who you are because of whatever it hits.
No.
whatever
Maybe you
hits.
misunderstood me. I said I don't think it's time that was the time or place for the teacher to attempt to have those tactics like the combat his behavior by with those types of questions.
So maybe
that didn't seem to be the right time.
I don't think the teacher even responded, really.
He
Which
did
is something else.
He did
You know what I
really,
mean?
really
Like,
good.
yeah, I
I
thought he kept his cool.
I don't think
thought he did
the
too.
teacher was necessarily in the wrong at all, outside of full-fledged swinging on him. But if
I
he's
follow-
but if he's going to take accountability for it, then that's what it is.
But
You know, like
I follow what you're saying though. There's something. I think there's something deeper behind that we don't.
I think
know.
there always is.
At the end of the day, hey, chilling is gonna be chilling, and Ol Otis, we see you. Get well,
You
Ol
might
Otis.
get a Hadoken through at your ass.
Yeah, so
Testing Ol
shout out to Ol Otis.
Yeah,
At the
man.
end of the day, we see you. Let's go ahead and jump into another topic. That was a good conversation there. Let's talk journalism a little bit. Talk a little music. Shout out to well, this is involving music kind of. Shout out to Memphis, North, South, East, West.
County seat.
All right.
Orange
Adjacent.
Shout to Eric. I believe Eric Wilson. Did he give us that topic?
This is
This is
actually
for me?
no, the one
Malcolm's.
before.
Oh,
Yeah.
previous topic.
Last
Yeah.
one was from Eric, and shouts to our patrons because they are submitting topics. So you can submit as well if you join our Patreon. So
Yeah,
do
shout out
that.
to E. Good looking on that topic.
This
Thank you,
this
Eric.
and this topic is actually brought up by Malcolm. So-
Word.
Thank you, Malcolm.
That's what's up. We appreciate it.
And I
Malcolm.
believe he was our very first patron.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's
man.
what's
Yes, I think that's right.
we really
Still
appreciate that,
riding.
man. Still
That's what's
riding
up.
with us. That's what's up, man.
Much appreciated.
That car still going through. We appreciate you. That's what's up. All right, so so the Philly
Unlike
rapper,
Mike's.
yeah, mine.
Ooh. No.
I
And
think-
he just put you on blast.
It's all right though. I had some issues in my life. You know what I'm saying? I had some issues in my life.
Quality.
You know, it's all good though. We back. You know,
$1 a month.
dollar
The
a month.
blast.
Here we go.
Suppose I had issues. It's all
Topic
good.
2.
So everybody knows.
Ta-ta-ta.
We know. AR Philly rapper.
He's got AIDS.
No,
He doesn't.
no,
I
let's
don't
not.
think- yeah, I don't think he does.
Long as that cousin you can't take anywhere,
that
man. I swear, he's that cousin you can't
Hey.
take anywhere, man.
Hey, you
you
might send
can't
his
take him
goons
anywhere.
after you for that
Shout out to
one.
South Philly
That's
now.
what I'm saying. Philly, yeah,
Yeah.
we got to add Philly to
North
the list.
Philly, South
Shout out
Philly,
to North,
East
South,
Philly, West
East, West
Philly.
Philly, man. Will Smith, and them. Hey, man, we don't want no smoke. Freeway Beans, all of y'all, man. Meek,
Jazzy Jazz.
yeah, man.
Petey
Hey,
Crack.
we love y'all,
That's right.
man. Petey Crack,
The
I'll
Young
go by.
Guns,
Chris
Dark
Neve.
Low.
Yeah,
I
Dark
mean,
Low. We don't
The
want none of that.
Roots.
I will
Rocky
go,
Balboa.
Jill Scott. None of y'all.
none of y'all. I will
Patti
go buy.
LaBelle.
I will go buy the Young Guns out
John
right
Coltrane.
now. We don't want no problems.
Bill Cosby. They already got him. But
Joe
Lone
Frazier
has-
and the Frazier family.
Yeah, man. Lone
You
had
set
had
me
his
up.
medicine.
You set me up.
No, Lone had his medicine. We
As
cool.
a setup.
You know what I'm saying?
that's why he was defending that kid, because he hasn't had his medicine.
Now we got two cities on our ass, man, because of Lone, man. Now I gotta mention Memphis every week and Philly.
Man.
Man.
We
We don't
ain't
want no
even
smoke,
pissed
man.
nobody off at the crib yet.
I know, but he went to the extreme, and now now OBH gonna be trying to get at us from
Wasted
Philly.
no
You know what I'm
time.
saying? Hey, I don't want no smoke, man. I like O'Malley them and Meek them. Yeah. Shout out to Meek. Hope the album's dope.
For
He's
sure.
got
right.
AIDS.
Just
He
ignorant.
want us to die, don't he?
Ignorant. Yeah, I said ignorant.
All right, I'm joking.
I'm only here every once in a
IGANT.
while, so
Nah.
Sorry,
You hear-
that's
whoever's
just-
on the episode can
That's
get
not
that
even-
I'm
smoke.
about to be traveling.
That's
for
not even
work
relevant to
for
anybody.
the next years.
None of y'all.
shut down Sterling.
Spools was just in Philly doing
I mean,
heavy,
I've
doing
been-
great things, and
Yeah.
now Long gonna mess
Man,
it up.
I
got
Now,
know,
Meek
right?
out.
now Spools can't go to Philly. That's messed up.
Messed
man.
up.
Hey, that's why you
Thanks,
ain't there
John.
now, right?
I'm
You
trying to
had
get
a-
it
you
so
must have
Spools
knew
doesn't have to
this
go
was
back
gonna
anymore.
happen.
Yep.
Hey man, shout out to Oskino and Sparks, man. We love y'all. All right. So AR Ab, was arrested, right? I'm gonna read y'all just a couple of paragraph. It says North Philly rapper AR-AB is in custody on federal drug charges, accused of heading a drug distribution ring. I'm laughing.
Sorry, I can still hear it in my head.
With bases, I'm not laughing. Bases of a operation in Philly, which was being supplied. I'm not laughing again. Being supplied from Los Angeles. A grand jury indictment released earlier this month that he was accused of distribution of heroin, methamphetamines, cocaine, and other related offenses.
So did he actually was he saying all of them? Got me crying over here. Did he actually say?
You gonna be crying. I'm not laughing. Jay Moore laughing. I ain't laughing.
Did he
I kind of just told on you, didn't I?
Yeah. Thanks.
Snitches get stitches.
Go ahead, man.
Well, that's actually relevant to what we talk about.
It is.
So did he?
Oh, you trying to say little boy got stitches?
No, he said
Oh, I thought you-
snitches. So did the
Good
problem? The
God.
thing we're talking about here is snitching on himself, right? That's the
True.
whole thing because he was on DJ Vlad and Vlad was off asking the questions and all that stuff.
Cop questions.
But it wasn't just DJ Vlad though, right?
It was
Smalls. It was a reference that was brought
So
up.
where did you hide the crack at? Those are the type of questions them dudes be
No,
asking.
Smalls was he's just another dude that does interviews that a guy that we happened to watch an interview of compared Vlad to but AR-AB had, I mean, he was also on his own Instagram account,
True.
like saying
was he?
stuff about people he knew and things, himself, but basically it was the Vlad interview or interviews
Yeah.
and just
Do we know how he got indicted?
No, I just found just a couple paragraphs. It didn't go into too
Okay.
much detail.
We generally if somebody's indicted, they've been following you for a long time.
Yeah,
especially if
not
it's the
just-
federal.
federal
agencies.
That's a federal indictment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it? Yeah.
So
They've
that
got
may
pages.
the timing may have just been
Ironic.
right on point, you know what I'm saying, as far as him saying things, but people in the street should know, I mean, there's a way to kind of address whatever you're doing.
Well, let me
and
pose this
kind
question.
of apply
And
yourself when somebody's asking you questions like that.
True. I'm coming right back to you. I just want to get this question out here on the table.
All right.
So, who do we blame? Do we blame AR-AB for telling his life story about how he's out in the streets, or do we blame somebody like Vlad that, in my opinion, asks questions that are bullshit questions, like that have nothing to do with rap? Like AR-AB will drop a mixtape, and then Vlad's asking like, so you sold crack, right? When'd you start? Like, what does that have to do with the mixtape? Go. With what you were saying, I just want to get it out there. What side? Who do you
Okay,
blame?
so there's certain questions that someone can ask, but what does he rap about?
he
Dope.
definitely rap about
Okay, so
that action.
that kind of makes sense to ask some of those certain questions like that, but the answer, what he's giving back, is what's going to make something stick or not. So I'm not going to, if I have a song and I'm referencing myself selling dope or this, that, and the other, blah, 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 you have to almost reference it as if it was something that I used to do.
Okay.
This is something that I'm not doing. I mean, Jay-Z, Pusha T, all of them, Rick Ross. I'm not saying that he literally was out there doing it, because out of those three, I don't think he was the one actually doing it. But anyway,
That's
neither
a
here
whole
nor there.
nother I think.
Young Jeezy, they all have songs and material that address that type of lifestyle. But if you were to ask them exactly what's going on and things like that in that nature, they're not going to initiate and say that they're doing that right now. They're going to be like, that's something that I did at one point in time. I don't advise anybody else to do this, but this is how I came up, and I'm kind of telling you this story so that you don't have to go through it. You know what I'm saying? There's way around that, rather than coming out and saying, well, we do this, and the reason why I'm here is because was that you that brought up that he said that he got his connect because something. Who said it was, or was that something that we watched?
He got his it's the title of one of the Vlad clips.
Okay,
Is like AR-AB describes how he got his connect because his connect's brother got killed
Something
or his
deep
connect
like
got
that.
killed or just some very like
And then
like
always
some super like some drug shit.
Yeah,
Like,
and then always saying how I have money that can fix all of this right now and make something happen and buy. You know what I'm saying?
He was talking about real estate, how they've been buying properties around Philly.
he called them fronts.
He called them
right.
No, he called them storefronts. I'm like,
Storefronts.
my man.
Yeah.
No,
this is brick and mortar.
Yeah.
His brick and mortar.
wow.
That's a bar, actually.
Oh boy.
No, I the thing is, when you, especially because people always like to say that DJ Vlad is the feds or whatever, or he's the police. But the thing is, you don't have to answer these questions if he brings them up. Because there's sometimes I almost feel like DJ Vlad should only talk to Lord Jamar and Lil Boosie, because those are the only really good interviews.
You know,
And,
Vlad.
you know,
Oh, Vlad.
because I enjoy and when he talks to comedians
fool Boosie,
and
though.
people who have no drug past, or because like sometimes as someone who pretty much watches Vlad on a regular basis, sometimes his interviews are really good, and sometimes like there's the one up with Warren Sapp right now, and I'm like, this is horrible. It's like
Hey,
he's
Warren
never,
Sapp was chopping him up,
but
though.
it's like he's never interviewed anybody before.
Did you guys ever see the one with Tretch where he walked out?
Yeah,
He couldn't take it when he was talking about Pac. He couldn't take it.
Tupac.
Did you see the one with Corrupt where he was like talking real
He's
slow?
the king of New York.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, and but at the same time, when people, a lot of times people forget that they're being videotaped and they just start talking.
I
And
believe that.
they'll say, "Oh, well, they chopped it up a certain way." I was like, "No." As someone who understands how editing works,
Yeah, Fleece actually said that. They
Yeah,
chopped it up
I
a
see.
certain
He did
way.
say that.
I see you.
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, you said that,"
Yeah.
and
He's like, I really don't like butts that much.
yeah. And really, that's what Fleece was like. Nah, man, the MSNBC messed up my image.
Yeah.
That messed up you. Not that you was in jail all the time, but
His brand was ruined after
Ruined.
But because I think people get intoxicated by the lights and the camera and the notoriety. It's just like I've had to pull people I know aside and say, "Hey, man, like you still like," because if you don't know, we filmed this show in Indiana. And,
Yep.
And I'll be like, "Look, man, I know that's your lifestyle and how you get down, but please stop posting nugs of weed on your Instagram and your social media, because like wherever you feel about how this is, how weed is not a crime, it's still a crime here in Indiana. You don't live in Washington or California, or hopefully if it passes in Michigan, you don't live there. So, there are certain things that you got to remember. Just don't post your gun that's not registered, because the feds
incriminate
and local
yourself.
police,
They're watching.
I've said this before, love social media. It is a
Ask
tool
Kodak Black.
that they
It's
use.
easy
good
for 'em.
call.
So I think a lot of this has to do with people getting intoxicated by the lights, the camera, the action, and they forget
The glimmers and gold.
they're talking. Yeah, exactly. We're going there. Who and they feel like, okay,
Unfold the scroll.
this is TV. And they're not thinking, no, this is real life. And the police are like, okay, like, look, there are people who've gotten caught up because they're buying bottles in the club and flashing money, and it's not even they're showing anything illegal. But then the people who are like, so you're this much behind on your child support, huh?
Right.
Hold that thought. Spools, jump in on this one.
Real quick point before I do, it's interesting what you were talking about people in the club and stuff. I was watching an interview with Sci-Hi the Prince on Vlad TV once, and he was talking about how, like, he raps about this stuff all the time, like all the dudes he came up with, and like they were in the game and shit. And he said back in Atlanta, when they were all like, when him and his dudes were all in the clubs, when BMF came in, they immediately would leave. Because that's when the feds would come in. Like people would start taking all these pictures and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But anyways,
That's being smart and
Yep.
knowing what's going on in your surrounding.
so who's to blame here? The person, I think ARAB for the most part is, because at the end of the day, he doesn't have to answer those questions like that.
And he doesn't need to be on camera like that.
No, and Jay Moore, no, and he doesn't. Like, it's funny, like you had said, like the lights, camera, and action. Like right now, this is the lights, camera, and action.
It's everywhere.
You can be by
That's a
yourself in a room or with
It's
three
everywhere.
of your friends, and now this is lights, camera, and
You
action.
go live.
So like,
Yep.
and
but-
the police are like,
But to your point too, like one of my favorite rappers over the past few years, Pee Wee Longway, was on Vlad TV, and Vlad was asking him those same questions, and Pee Wee was not biting, like he wasn't going for it, man.
He didn't take the bait at all.
No. They
Not
asked
one
him
bit.
about-
And he was
Okay.
he's hilarious. I love Pee Wee Longway, and he wasn't. He seems like he's the type of cat maybe
they
like,
would just start talking.
yeah, and he was like, mm-mm. It was awesome.
They
It was
asked him
incredible.
about Crip, and he's like, "Blue's a nice color."
Yeah,
That's
he's
all
like, I
I'm
like
gonna
that
say
color.
about
Wow.
Yeah. What's MPA's? Yeah, it was great.
it was
So-
great. He
That's
dodged
dope.
everything in the most.
But
Honestly,
who's-
you'd think he'd had like a whole level of media training, but
Yeah.
he just knows probably the code of the streets, and it's like, look,
Dude's incredible.
this has nothing to do with my music. I'm not talking about this.
But who's to blame? I think
Yeah.
in a way, like society, like Vlad wouldn't ask those questions if people didn't want to know those answers to those questions.
and if that's not what you rapped about, like he's like, okay,
I mean, yeah, there's that part. I mean, I think that plays a large part. But people eat all of this shit up. It is entertainment as much as we sometimes don't think it is or don't want to look at it that way. It is entertainment for a lot of people.
I can't argue with
But
that.
because if somebody's gonna tell it, you're gonna listen.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be discussed.
Now,
And to your point, as far as you talking about Pee Wee Longway, anybody in their right mind that's doing an interview that is in the streets or into something they're not necessarily supposed to be doing
Actively.
is going to go that route. They're either going to be like, we're not doing this interview
Rep.
unless you're going to ask me questions about my music. All that other shit is irrelevant. I'm not here for that.
That's true.
people
But
like to
you're trying to glorify it because it's giving you that extra layer of clout.
because people
and it's
like that
getting you in trouble.
attention, man.
But
People
also-
really like that attention a lot, unfortunately. But real ones, in my opinion, like they don't like cats don't. They're not on fucking Facebook and Instagram, dude.
well, I mean, it's
true.
also about like, I do think
All
it
the
goes
time, I
back
guess, you know?
into what you rap about. I mean, like we remember when Nelly came out, he was a kind of happy go lucky. Everything is like we're having a good time, but we didn't find out. A lot of people outside of St. Louis didn't realize that Nelly. I'm not telling tales out of school here. Okay, this was on his Behind the Music. He let this out a little later. That Nelly was in these streets. Now,
I never would've known.
Nelly didn't rap about the streets like that. So when it was time to interview him, it's like, oh, tell us about growing up in U City and when you played baseball in the Cardinals minor league, because that's what they put out there.
Yep.
Okay. Now, if your whole thing is because but even when he started rapping, he said, "Look, I had to get out of the streets because how am I going to decide I'm going to be a rapper and there's a flyer with my name on it telling everybody where I'm going to be and what time I'm going to be there."
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Extremely smart.
So, and I tell anybody, look, you can do one or the other. Because, like I said, you can't. We've had this string of rappers getting into it, a couple people dying. And I'm not trying to say it's about the culture, but it is about the access that people have to where you are, when you're going to be there. Like if you're going on live talking about, yeah, I'm going to be here, I'm going to be spinning in these racks. It's like, okay, because the streets are hungry.
So are
and
we-
there are people out here who, like I said, lights, camera, action is giving
I
people
got something
too
to say to
much.
this
Yeah,
as
jump
well.
in, jump in.
So I'm going to take a different stance from you guys. I don't necessarily disagree with the fact that artists that are being interviewed absolutely need to be aware of what they're saying, because I think that's absolutely important. If they're doing certain things, they have to be conscious of where they are. I absolutely agree with Jay Moore's point about the glamour and the lights kind of desensitizing you're in that moment, you just kind of want to speak about yourself.
Guard
I
comes
understand
down a
that.
little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, I understand that. What I'll say is that there has to be some sort of journalistic integrity as well, and Vlad doesn't have any.
That's my point.
You don't think so?
No, 100%.
I think he does to an extent, but I also think he is the biggest culture vulture in hip hop media.
Thank you.
But
100%.
but I know just
Because
there's stuff out there. Trust me, you can see how some of these there's stuff that he doesn't put out there. There are in whole interviews that
That's
he just
cool.
doesn't put out.
That's cool, but he still puts out the shit he puts out, regardless.
Yeah.
And the stuff that he puts out, he knows that the stuff he puts out is going to put somebody in harm's
danger?
way in
Okay.
that manner. And he's doing it anyways, but he's doing it off of the cover of saying, well, this is what this artist is doing. It's not my responsibility to do this for... That's my interpretation
I
of
agree
it.
100% with that.
I'm not taking anything away from the artist. If the artist goes out there and says that, that's on them. But he also has some sort, and as a journalist in general, or as somebody as part of the hip hop culture in general, you have some sort of responsibility of what you share. And he is intentionally putting people in harm's way, and,
Okay, well,
you can't look past that.
If we take it out of the realm of journalism and we call it, okay, this is entertainment news, as opposed to saying this is Vlad is a journalist, he's an entertainment news reporter. Is there a different standard then?
He doesn't carry himself like a.
He shares hip hop stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, which would make him an entertainment news reporter, if you will.
Hip hop police.
For hip hop.
Yeah,
Okay.
Like when it's
not
for
writing-
hip-hop.
He's not
For
writing
hip-hop.
shit.
You know, if we're talking about
No, but
journalism,
but he was one of the original video
No question.
YouTube
No question.
interviewers,
DVD guys.
Yeah, he was one
Yep.
of those guys. So that he,
Smack like
you know,
those
like
type of
he
dudes.
Just
doesn't
ride the whip.
he
man.
doesn't write it. He doesn't have to write anything because he was one of the
Yeah.
pioneers of what he does.
Okay.
No doubt.
So, but yeah, I put I don't want to say I put as much on Vlad as I would the individual because you have to be accountable for what you're doing.
Because he can't do anything if you don't give him anything.
But he can also have a conversation with somebody before you're going on and be like, hey, it might be a good idea for you not to share these things.
I don't think he has that conversation.
Yeah, but you
I
know
don't
what?
think he has
In
that
2018, if you
It's
out here
definitely not
doing
his
dirt,
responsibility to either.
why? And you've heard all these people call Vlad the feds, and you still sit down and talk with him and talk about your dope house and this, that, and the third. That's
Exactly.
on you.
That's on
Yeah.
him.
If you
Sean,
if
I
you
would
know the
agree
type
with
of
you.
person that you're going to talk to,
Then you're just a clout chaser then.
if you know the type of person you're going to talk to, you know the kind of questions you're going to get. You should be prepared for that.
Did
know
you
what
see
I'm
how
saying?
many
As the
hits
artist.
his how many views he gets? I mean, like people watch.
It's
I
like
mean, I do.
academics at that point, though.
I
It's
watch-
that academics intentionally does well. Historically, I haven't seen a lot of academic stuff recently,
Recently,
but academics would intentionally do stuff that was going to stir up controversy within artists and stuff like that.
Jump in, Spools. I think you were going to jump in there.
As far I think calling people like Vlad now and calling people like academic, like there's definitely not journalists. I would
Not at
agree.
all.
I would think we could all
well-
agree with that. I know they're hip hop. I would agree with, and I
Reporters.
think the terminology is more than semantics too. Like,
Okay.
it is important. And yeah, that's what they are. They're entertainment news. They're all TMZ to me, more or less, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, do they have? Should they have a standard? Yeah, they should have a standard. But do they, and do they need to? Absolutely not in today's day and age.
Yeah, they're
and actually, the
definitely not
fewer
gonna do it.
standards you have, the better you probably will be as far as the reach that you have and
Yeah.
the money that you make and the advertising dollars you get and all that other stuff. Unfortunately, but like
Oh, believe me.
altruistically, I agree with you. But in like today's life, like no. Now, if Vlad was on the other side, if he was out there saying like before interviews, like, "Hey, yo, you know what would be great for you is if I ask you all these like street
questions
questions and
and-
stuff, and you answer them because that's going to be really good for you." If he were doing that, then that is super irresponsible.
You don't think that people don't come on Vlad already kind of knowing that they can talk about
That's
stuff?
on them, though. That's even more so on them.
Yeah.
You're
I
walking
guess-
into your own like.
From somebody that does hip-hop media for a long time, I feel a certain responsibility to not do fuck shit. And
But
to
it's
me, that's
also
fuck
about
shit.
who you've
Everybody-
interviewed.
But
Like,
everybody
you-
doesn't have a conscience.
No, I don't necessarily think so. I mean, like, I
or
feel
a
like
moral compass because they're more for the numbers, and we know
Exactly.
that this is going to get views, and we know our kind of people that
I'm-
just want to talk about something just to get the views.
That's to me.
That's
That's
all
what
they're
he
worried
is,
about.
Though. But to me, that's what he is, though. Like
I think
there-
that's the line, though. You know, that's the line. You know, can you put it on Vlad 100%? No, you can't. You
I'm
absolutely- you
not
can't.
saying it's 100% him.
But I feel like to say that he has got no responsibility in it at all, to me, that's fuck shit. I don't agree with that at all.
That's where
personally.
I'm at. There's no way you can 100% absolve Vlad from this. To me, he has to have some accountability on it. I don't care how you do the pie chart, 80-20, whatever you want to do. To me, you can't exclude him from it. He plays a part in it. To me,
Yeah.
he plays a part in it.
Okay, to
You know what
play
I'm
white devil's advocate, if you will.
Sure.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
No, I stole that from Charlemagne. It's all good.
Okay.
Playing Mike Braun right now.
Oh wow, yeah, we'll have to check those results
Dang.
in a minute.
Wow.
Okay, say when you go on something like when they interview people on the Daily Show.
Okay.
Okay, and they get them to walk into admitting just things that they're doing wrong. Like, and at this point, the Daily Show's been on a good 20 years. How do you not know that you're walking into a situation where you're either going to get clowned or someone's going to like really bring up a hard question about what you're doing? And now, or do we just say, hey, that's entertainment? Or do we say, hey, they have a responsibility to not put those people in that situation.
Do you think there's a difference between regular entertainment and hip hop entertainment?
That's a good question.
I'd say hip hop entertainment's a type of entertainment. I mean, no, not necessarily.
I mean, just if you're talking about categories, yeah. But
I mean, are we talking about the culture involved in hip hop, or are we just talking about strictly entertainment? Because to me, there's more involved when you talk about.
Okay.
There's more involved when you talk about hip hop and entertainment as opposed to just the Daily Show or
Straight
something like this.
You're playing cultural standards to some of this stuff. So.
no, I mean that's why we're having the conversation. Like,
And I think that makes it a harder question.
okay.
There's
So-
an actual video that has surfaced. I don't have the link. There's a video that surfaced of a couple guys have a podcast or something, and Vlad admitted to a certain extent that he's a culture vulture. Like he actually said, "Well, yeah, I guess I'm a culture vulture when you look at it like this." And he talks about basically the situation that we're talking about now. Like he basically owned up to it and was like, "Yeah, well, in that instance, I am a culture vulture because I do X, Y, Z."
Oh no, when he sat down with Lord Jamar,
was that
it
who
was
it
Lord
was?
Jamar and Rod
Was it that
Dicker
interview?
on the Godcast.
Okay, the good source there. So I'm like, fam, you understand what you're doing. Like it's not like he's totally oblivious to what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
It's like Trump.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
not like Trump, but I mean in the same sense. He knows exactly what he's
It's
doing.
about
and
views,
he's-
it's about numbers, it's about bread.
He's
I
going
get
right
that.
for it.
But he's fully aware of what he's doing when he
not
has
Donald
the artist
Trump, I
coming
don't
in.
think.
Nah,
Right,
we
right.
put that on him.
But,
But he's fully aware of what he's doing, 100%. So there is accountability on the artist because you don't, to Spool's point, to your point, Jay Moore's point, you don't have to say shit. You could just
yep,
PB Longway. Now I'm cool.
that's the way you should probably do it.
So do
You
y'all
know.
think that is right? I think the other part of the question was about the media kind of getting these charges brought up on different individuals based on interviews and
Yep.
music and things like that. Do y'all think that that's something that actually happens, or is that
I think-
right? Or
I think there are hip hop police. If that's a
I think
partial
there-
a partial answer to
I
that.
do
100%.
I do think there's. I mean, they've admitted to this that there are people, and now with social media, at one point they were keeping a binder. Now there's probably people who just like, okay, let me see what ARAB put on his Instagram today.
If you look at Ab's interviews with Vlad, though, like how specific they are,
It's
there's no way they
Instagram-
can't go back and use those.
The Instagram hurts bad, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if some of that like doesn't. It has
You know
nothing.
what?
If Vlad has nothing to do with it, and if it's more like the Instagram stuff.
I
man,
yeah, I
based
don't-
on what I saw, but
I don't even
know.
necessarily think that Vlad was necessarily part of that, or you know, I think it
Part
contributed.
of Ab contributed to it.
I think it probably contributed to it, but literally last night I watched. There's this series on Netflix called Follows or Followers or something. It's by BuzzFeed, and there's an entire episode on the M13 gang.
MS-13.
And-
MS-13.
Yes, MS-13. Sorry, MS-13, and how the raps and how they put raps out, but they're all internal within the gang. And it was somebody like investigating all that, and it was just
Oh no, yeah, I've seen that to where like they basically rhyme about the next person they're going to kill.
and it,
Oh,
to
word.
motivate people to be in the gang as well. It's all internal. It's very
Yeah.
interesting. But it was like the hip hop police of sorts, but it was like a reporter from BuzzFeed doing it. It was
wild.
It was
It's
very
called
interesting.
Followers?
That's crazy.
Is it
Followers or Follow
episodes?
Me or something. It's a series.
Okay.
There's a whole bunch of really cool stuff on there.
Let's check that out.
Well, yeah, man, this is you know, when we talk about like AR Abs, to me, his were so extensive in terms of what he broke down. It's like I find it hard to wrap my mind around the fact or the concept of the police not referencing that at some point based on the hip hop police and what we talked about and availability and media and all that.
I think
I find it hard for them not to at least, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you know, it's
skim it, I
but
guess.
but it's like it's creative. It's music, right? You can
Yeah.
say anything in music. So
well, Mac Dre did time behind
Right.
Yeah.
him actually making records. And
Well,
he wasn't
yeah, yeah.
necessarily
He
even
was-
talking about himself.
Well, he was.
Well,
there's some twists to that, but yeah, kind of. SIBO was the first one ever locked up for
Oh,
technically violating
good call.
probation or parole for
Good call.
taking part in making a rap album because he was out on probation or parole, and they said it was a violation for him taking because of what he was rapping about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
That's
know.
deep.
Like
Mac
that,
Dre's
about that.
it's
to me, that's a bit
a little
much.
different.
I mean, unless you can legitimately tie it in to
Yeah.
something like some sort of physically you can literally say, yes, this you were here and
Right.
you talked about this,
Yeah.
and like
Right.
otherwise it's like probing and invasion.
Well, here's what's
and-
interesting, and this we've talked about this briefly a couple times in the past, and my last kind of thoughts around this whole thing is
Yep.
in today's culture, and we say hip hop culture a lot, but I see it more as rap, today's popular rap culture, being real, or what I think is a false definition of being real is what's popular, right? Which is what you see a lot, flashing guns and drugs and all this other stuff too. So I think cats feel like that's what they have to do to be popular, to be liked, all that other stuff too.
It goes back to our education
but
talk.
if
earlier.
the realer you are, seemingly sometimes the better it can be, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when asked, it's all entertainment,
Right.
So it's a really
It's like a double standard
wild
of sorts.
situation, man.
Yeah.
That's actually a great point.
And I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong in any of it. It's just a very.
That's what it
I guess
is.
the only thing, if I had anything negative to put on, anyways, is like, you probably shouldn't tell on yourself and talk about the illegal stuff you do on social media or on interviews.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
It's a great
Might want to
start.
start there.
And
Yeah.
also, and this is just me personally, and this not to sound like all hippie-ish or anything, but like, should, evaluate what you value.
There you go.
Hey,
Bong bong.
Hey, in terms of Ab, like I have no sympathy for someone that's still living that lifestyle,
We love Philly though.
but we love Philly. So
I hope things work out for AR. I really do.
I
but-
mean, it's just
City of brotherly love.
brotherly love.
I mean, I hope they work out if they're supposed to work out.
If they're supposed to work out,
You know what I mean?
Fair
like,
I'm gonna leave it at that. We got some music to talk about before we get out of here.
There's a lot of
Again,
music came out this month.
Shout out to
lot.
Memphis, Philly. We love you.
and shouts to voting.
Yeah, shout out to voting too as well. So I got 4 that I put down.
All right.
Fetti, Currency,
Yeah.
and Gibbs,
I give
produced
it 2
by the
thumbs up.
Alchemist. I give it 2 thumbs up.
It's all right.
I liked it.
I liked
I'm
it
not
a
a
lot,
big
yeah.
Currency fan, Gibbs fan. I think Gibbs rap circles around a lot of people. Don't think he gets a lot of credit for his polish as an MC. And he was flexing on them Alchemist beats.
Oh, big time,
Straight
dude!
up.
The production is dope. I love this. I like it a lot. I'm not a big Currency fan either, but I thought him and Gibbs went really well together. They sounded really good together. Currency's very smooth and has kind of I thought a little slower flow, I guess. Whereas Gibbs can like he can.
Yeah.
I don't know. They complement each other well, and Alchemist is dope. So yeah, 2
He's
thumbs
dope.
up.
It was a good, solid project. I found myself wanting to skip the Currency parts and listen to the Gibbs parts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just what
Yeah.
it was. But it was a good project.
I wanted more hooks because I know Freddie
You
Gibbs
want-
can write
you-
records.
You want some hooks like when he was singing that one? But
I was cracking up.
he
I
was
like,
he was clowning on
Yeah.
that.
way. Yeah, I think that was done purposely.
Singing
That
on
was
the
awesome.
key.
Yeah.
I like.
That joint was cold though. You said 2 thumbs up. Did you
I
run it,
liked
brother? More?
I got a chance to listen to a piece of it. And like I said, I like the Currency from a few years ago. What was that? The flight.
He did Pilot Talk.
Pilot Talk.
He dropped an album every 3 months.
Yeah,
Yeah, he does.
I remember
He's
really
got a lot
liking
of
Pilot
music.
Talk. Especially the joint he did with Crit. But
There's
this
a-
one, like I said, I had to agree with Lone. Like I kept wanting to hear Freddie Gibbs rap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Currency's one of those people, like, I liked him initially, but he put out so much music, he turned me off. And I was just
Yeah.
like, I can't keep up with you and I don't want to anymore.
Currency's
can
an
see
acquired taste. Like
My buddy
He
Scotty.
definitely has a following.
Scotty,
No question.
Scott Farley, shout out to my man Scott Farley. Put me on the Currency a long time ago. I mean, somewhat long time ago, but same. I was like, this is dope. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is dope too. And it's like, oh god,
Man, you got-
And I was like, oh man, like I
That's a
don't.
lot. I can't.
He was
keep up.
originally on. It wasn't Young Money. What was the
Cash
crew?
Money.
Well, not Cash. The crew that Lil Wayne had when they was
Oh,
putting out all those mixtapes.
I can't think of the name. Dang, you would say
I don't
that.
know.
He was.
Something 7 or something. I don't remember.
Can't, I ain't gonna lie. I can't call it.
but I know he was part of that early.
It's just funny. He's just one of those artists I'm just completely oblivious about. Like,
Yeah.
he's just like, oh, he put out a new album? All right, it's probably decent.
picks good beats. Maybe if I smoke,
Yeah.
it'd be better.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Perhaps.
Well,
Swiss
yeah.
Beats, Poison.
I didn't listen to it.
I thought it. I almost low key. There's no almost.
Everybody's shaking their head now.
I actually owe Swiss Beats an apology.
For what?
To me,
It was decent?
I listened to the album. The album is not bad at all, man. Like the joint with Nas. Nas's joint on there is better than anything on Nas's ear.
Okay.
I'll look into the camera. Nas's joint Echo is better than anything on Nasir.
Well, he
by a
actually has
mile.
Pusha T on there too. So
Pusha T blacked
So
out.
those two songs,
Young Thug
would you say
song is
those are
cold.
better? That is a nice song.
Young Thug actually got. That's a whole nother topic. Matter of fact, I'd like us to talk about that when we all get together again, when it's all five of us, because Young Thug just proved my theory correct. You know what you're doing when you're making music.
Well, I've said this many
Thug
times
is-
about
yeah,
Young
it's-
Thug. Many times on this show about how he puts together cadences and stuff.
No.
He has
He
it.
actually was rapping.
No, he
On
did.
this
He
one.
was rapping.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about his flows? Okay, I
Yeah.
follow you. Yeah, he was actually rapping. I was surprised. I said he has one of the best records on his album.
This is what I will say about the Swiss album. His beats are still repetitive. It's that same doom, doom. You know what I'm saying? It's that
I know.
same.
I
Has he
know.
got like fax noises and
Don't do that.
goats
Don't
and
do
stuff
that.
in the
It's
song?
Don't do
just
that.
like
Goats.
there's at least 3 or
Don't do
4
that.
songs that have the same drum pattern.
Hey,
Am I wrong?
Swiss,
You're not.
Hey, Swiss Beats is the only producer I know that could put a goat in a record and probably make it go platinum.
And then be like, God damn it!
See, I don't need him talking cash. I don't need that. I don't need the.
I'm talking the goat would be a part of the beat.
Oh, no
Timberland
question.
could get away with that.
Yeah.
put-
Yeah, Timbo might.
I'm
yeah, he
cool
put-
on Swiss
he-
talking
I mean, he
cash.
put that
though.
baby in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That was
He
dope.
had the
That's
baby,
true.
the
Yeah,
cricket.
Leah song, yeah.
Tim did a lot of
Song.
little
The cricket
subtle
was cold
shit.
too. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
he hooked
thought-
up that cricket.
Swiss was a little better than I thought though. I give him P's. It was
What
better
else,
than I thought.
This is what I hope
Action
happens,
Bronson.
though. This is what I hope happens with Swiss dropping this album, that other producers follow suit, because I really want to hear an album from Just Blaze.
That would be amazing.
I
that's
want
the
to
one.
hear an album from
Just
Just Blaze. I'm
Blaze.
just saying.
And on Drink Champs, he shot at Drink Champs. We need to come see y'all. Drink. He
That would
said
be awesome.
He said he has an album with Nas.
Who?
Swiss Beats.
Whole
whole album?
A
A
whole
whole
Swiss-
album.
I'm not
Interesting.
excited.
I'm
Interesting.
cool on the thought of that until I heard Echo on the album.
Okay.
Okay.
I was cool on the thought of that until I heard Echo on the
Yeah.
album. All right, Action Bronson, White Bronco.
White Bronco.
That one was cool.
It's cool.
To be honest,
I
I
didn't check
liked
it
it
out.
just as much as I liked the Currency Gibbs. It had a very similar feel because the production was very similar.
Yep.
Very,
It seemed like it
very
was real
stripped down.
quick. It was a
Did
quick
Alchemist
album.
do
It was
some
a-
on here?
It was 11
He had- I
tracks.
think
though.
Was it
did.
11? Oh, it seemed like
Did
it was
Alchemist
over
do any?
fast.
Let's see. Harry,
know Harry Fraud.
Harry
Yeah, Harry
Fraud,
Fraud, yeah.
Knowledge.
Some of those joints sound like
I'll have
Alchemist
to look
beats.
it up. I don't think. You know what? I don't think that
Maybe not,
Alchemist was
though.
on there.
That one's on my list to listen to.
It's
I
on
think
Bring-
you're gonna
Action
rock. I
Bronson.
think you'll rock with that one.
It is
Spools.
on Bring It. Yeah, you'll like it. You'll definitely like it.
Yeah.
especially
You'll rock with
production-wise.
that
It's
one.
very soul sample heavy, very stripped down.
No
West Side
drums.
Gun esque.
Yeah.
Nice.
I didn't even get to hear West Side Guns. What is it? Volume. 6?
It's Hitler Wears Hermes.
Is that on his website? I
Volume
can't find
6.
it.
I bought it. Yeah, it was on his website. It was on the bliantel.com website. Yeah.
Oh, you. that name is so dope to me. So you cop?
I did. Yeah.
How much did he want for it? I'm not
$20
go support
for the digital. Yeah.
the digital boy. Okay,
You didn't even get a physical boy for that?
No.
Wow.
man.
I mean, it would be if I bought it on iTunes 12 or something anyway, so it's not
Yeah.
a big deal.
I'm rocking with them though.
I don't know if that one was on your list, but I've listened to that one. I really like it. It's right up the same alley of, what you get from those dudes.
They
man.
got the machine.
Like they continue
the machine
to
on there.
be, one or two. Yeah,
What about
Benny's
Benny?
on there.
I
Yep,
fool with Benny.
Benny's ill, dude.
Yeah, I fool with Benny.
But yeah, definitely. Shouts to those the Buffalo cast. Shout to West Side Gun. Benny's got a joint coming out with Bronze Nazareth. I believe later this month, if I'm not mistaken. Right around the same time, the Ghostface Bronze Nazareth Lost Tapes comes out.
Okay.
Hey, I fool with
So-
Griselda, man. I just can't. I
Yeah,
can't.
shouts
I
to
can't
Griselda.
spend that. I can't spend that bread on them hoodies, y'all. I'm sorry. I fool with y'all though, but I can't. I can't spend the bread on them hoodies just yet. That's a little bit
Maybe
out my
one day.
bracket. It's out my bracket right
Yeah.
now.
Was there another one on your
Mick
list?
Jenkins.
Yeah.
Mick Jenkins.
Solid.
Pieces of a Man. I didn't get a chance to
Also
hear
on
it.
my list. Haven't listened.
It's really good, man.
I have
like
no
it.
doubt.
I like it more than all these ones we've talked
I
about.
have no doubt. Yeah, he's dope. He's dope. I definitely will have to listen to that when I guess reconvene and talk about it. Did I miss anything else album?
On the smoother side of things, Georgia and Modro dropped Overload.
I haven't.
okay.
It's on my
Nice.
list.
That's
I haven't heard
good.
it yet.
Neo dropped Saturn.
Okay.
Those are both good albums, in my opinion.
You listen to both. Okay.
I
Dope.
Word.
did. Locally, Fox Legend dropped his project, which is actually pretty nice.
Okay.
I listened to that. I gave it some run. I haven't went all the way through it, but
You
I'm
said
about
Fox Legend.
What's it
Fox
called?
Legend. It is called. I'm tripping. What is it called? Hold on, let me look at my music.
And also,
library.
didn't Diop just drop?
Don't get it twisted.
Don't
We-
get it twisted.
Yeah, we talked
Yeah,
about
we had
Diop.
when we had him
Yeah.
on. Yep.
Word.
Shout out
Yeah,
to
don't
Diop.
get it twisted. He's got let's see. Am I playing?
Oh, okay.
I was trying to see the track list on here, but it's actually pretty dope. I like it.
Word.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So I think we're getting close here. I'll go around real quick, make sure we shout out anybody that has anything. J Moore, where you at?
Let's see. Of course, I got Tiki Bob's with DJ Lemmy Vice and DJ Gabby Love this week. New spot called the Patron Saint, which is the old Subterra, but they've completely
word.
remodeled that.
Is it upstairs or is it?
It's downstairs.
Oh,
it's
is it?
downstairs.
Okay.
It's like Subterra.
What's it called?
Patron Saint,
Patron
and they're going
Saint.
to do a
It's
whole
kind of tiny.
New Orleans bar. So it's going to be real. It's actually real dope.
That's where Mark Rebele is going to be.
Yeah, and
Word.
let's see, and I believe it's upcoming. It's going to be Lemmy Vice and DJ Gigante. They're going to do like a '90s R&B night
Oh, I'm with
on a
that.
Sunday.
Did they rebrand the Casbah back to the Casbah?
I don't like. I don't
said
know.
something like about
Like
that.
because they keep calling the
It
Casbah.
went from the Ambassador Lounge.
I think it's still called the
think
Ambassador Lounge, but like the
I see
Casbah name,
Jones.
the Casbah name is so strong.
It was dumb to change
That's
it.
what it
Let me
is
just
to
throw it
I
out
mean,
there.
like,
Yeah.
don't ask me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I got a
to
whole
me.
bunch of things to say about
Yeah.
that, but I'll, my
For
people
sure.
are getting money down there, so I'm gonna leave it alone.
Hey man, get that money. Anything else I'm missing?
Probably.
Okay.
Coaches every Tuesday.
Appreciate
We
you.
still in
Yeah.
the building.
Go Irish.
Go Irish. All right. I think they
Go
number
Bears.
4 right now.
They're 3.
3. Okay. Shout out to Notre Dame. They trying
Shout
to.
out to them Pacers though.
Yeah, they look good.
Shout out to Victor Oladipo too. I
Yeah,
see you
put
pulling
in
up
that
on Kyrie.
work.
We see you
Father.
out here.
Yeah.
Oh, real quick too, want to say rest in peace to Roy Hargrove.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
only
word,
49
word,
years
word.
old, man.
Yeah, man.
Word.
Yeah,
crazy.
what did he have? A heart attack?
Believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
jazz trumpet
Yeah.
player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dope.
He's real bad.
Very
He's
dope.
a bad
Yeah,
man.
rest-
He is
in
part of a
peace,
lot of sessions that you may or may not know about.
Yeah.
He was instrumental in that.
Super talented.
Yeah.
Super talented. Yeah. So rest in peace to him. I guess that's going to do it for episode 106. Remember, shout out to our sponsors, Coleman Dental, 317-255-8546. No Bad Ideas. They lace us, as always, with the product. Printfinity. Can't wait till you see who their first artist is that they will feature. Bringing down the band.com.
Indie City and Vinyl.
EDC and Vinyl, we
Thank
appreciate
you.
y'all. And
Thank
shout
you
out
to our patrons.
Yes, we love y'all. Make sure y'all go support the Patreon page. Y'all taking care of us. We appreciate it.
Peace.
Stop doing that.
Yeah.